Okay, so here we go with the SAM project review for PowerPoint Chapter 3. And again, I just want to encourage you to work on the project first and use this as a help, not as a, what I would say, a crutch, but work through the project first and then go back and you can use this to review any questions you may still have about the project. Now at this point you will need, of course, your PowerPoint file downloaded from SAM from Chapter 3 with the 2 on the end. There are 2 supplemental files, Stack and Statistics, which you can get either from Google Classroom. If you have remote access, you can get that from the shared folder, or you can download those from SAM. So you need to have your original PowerPoint file and those 2 support files ready to go. And hopefully you have a paper version of the PowerPoint presentation, excuse me, not the PowerPoint presentation, but the project instructions in front of you printed out. Otherwise, you can also, of course, download those from SAM or from the shared folder if you have remote access. So you have to have your tools in place before you get started. And we're going to dive into this project, which is a PowerPoint presentation for a startup company, and we are presenting an introductory presentation for the startup owners. We're trying to raise money for our company. All right, so here we go. We are going to insert a picture, one of those supplemental files we already should have had, insert picture. And you might have this in a number of different places. I just put this out in a temporary folder under PowerPoint Chapter 3. And so the file we're looking for is this JPEG file called Stack from Chapter 3. I can either double click on it or click on it once and insert it, and it drops into our presentation like so. And then it says resize the picture to a height of approximately 4 inches. Allow the width to adjust automatically. So as we adjust over here in our size group, as we adjust the height, because I just want to explain this again, because the lock aspect ratio is selected, that means that this picture will remain proportional as we adjust either the height or the width. The corresponding dimension will adjust as well, as long as we have lock aspect ratio. Again, you may have seen some presentations before where the slides were not disproportional and they look really weird on a slide. So as I increase the height using my up arrow here, as I increase the height to 4, my width adjusts accordingly. All right. Then it says to crop the picture using the left cropping handle to a width of approximately 5 inches. So it sounds like I'm going to use my crop here, and I am going to cut out maybe about a 1/2 inch if I'm going to do a width of 5 inches. And I'm looking over here and I've got 5.13, and maybe I'll just go a little bit further. 5.05. That's going to be close enough for now. I'm going to call that good. All right. So I'm done with my cropping. I'm going to click back on crop. You can see my cropping handles all the way around this picture here. Click on crop and your cropping handles go away. And then I'm going to come over here to my adjust group under corrections. And I'm looking for the sharpen to 50%. That's your leftmost selection. Sharpen 50% on that picture. All right. And it says position the picture within the left brown frame as shown in figure 1. So using my 4-headed arrow, I'm going to come up here and drag this using my guides up there so it's lined right up with my frame. And I'm done with page 1. Okay. On slide 2. Okay, slide 2. First thing we'll do here is we're going to mess around with this picture. I'm going to come over here and click on the picture. And on my picture tools format tab under my adjustments, I'm going to come over here to corrections. And here, check that, I should be in the color area. And we're looking for color saturation. Going to have the picture selected over there on the right. How we're going, looks like how we're growing our business. Nice graphic. And I'm going to come over here to color saturation. I'm looking for a tooltip of saturation, or how much color I am showing in that picture. It's going to be a little subtle, saturation of 66%, like so. Then I'm going to apply a word art style. Now the instructions, I thought when I first did this, were a little bit vague. But down here in this text box, we want to emphasize our margin and our profit, because if we're doing a startup, our profit margin percentage, profit divided by price, and our profit, or essentially how much money we have left after we paid all expenses, those two factors are going to be very big for anyone investing in our company. Okay, so I'm going to select that text down there in the text box, and I want to apply a word art style to this. Now, I'm working with PowerPoint 2016. If you're working with PowerPoint 2019, my instructions might be a little bit different, because mine says hard shadow white background color 1. But when I go here and select my text and come over here to Drawing Tools Format tab, I'm going to come over here to my Word Art Styles, and I'm going to select this guy, first column, third row. Mine says fill black text 1, outline background 1, hard shadow background 1. Well, background 1, and on the instructions it says white background color 1. That would be the 2019 version of that particular instruction. And then for text effects, I am going to say in my glow area, I am going to say first row, second column, I've got tan 5-point glow, accent color 2. All right, I'm going to select that guy right there. And I think I'm done with slide 2, and that's looking good. And now I'm going to go down here to slide 3. And it says here in slide 3, we are going to insert a 3D clustered column chart. Okay, so it says use my content placeholder. So my content placeholder here says insert chart. I'm going to select on that. And it says I'm dropping in a 3D clustered column chart. All right, and I believe that's up here in my suggested charts here, 3D clustered column. I'm going to select that and click OK. And it'll drop my chart into my presentation, but it says get rid of series 2 and 3. So I'm just going to have some data in here, and it pulls up an Excel-like worksheet here. And the first thing I probably want to do is adjust my range of my chart. I'm going to do that here in my bottom right-hand corner of all my data. You see this little bottom right-hand little square there. I'm going to put my two-headed arrow on that square, and I want to left-click and hold, and I'm going to drag to the left 2 columns. So I essentially am going to eliminate series 2 and 3 from my chart by changing the dimensions of my chart from 4 columns to 2. So I'm going to let up there, and I'm just going to, just for laughs and giggles, I'm going to select this date and then hit delete just to get rid of it here. I don't know why those columns show up there, but they do. All right, and so there's my chart. All right, and here we go. We're going to drop in some data. We're going to call this Uber, enter, and Axiomi. I have a really fun time with these words. Axiomi and Airbnb and SpaceX. All right, that's my description of my various services here, and in billions of dollars. We're going to say 68, 56, 31, and 21. All right, and there is my data on slide 3, just dropping in that table. When I'm done, I can close out my little chart up here. Starts with a simple idea, and there's my chart with my billions there. And with that still displaying, I'm going to click up here on my title. And remember, select a word, just like in Microsoft Word, double click, select your title. Most valuable startups. We're referencing various companies, Uber, so and such, Airbnb, okay? So there's that. Let's see here. There's my text. I'm going to triple click on that, select all that text. It's saying to change it to an 18-point font. So here in my mini toolbar, I'm going to change that to 18-point. It says to change the chart style to style 8. And here are my pre-formatted styles up here. And here's style 8 up here. I'm just going to go back and make sure that I still have a, whoops, I didn't need to do that. I still want to make sure I still have an 18-point title. It looks like that style changed it to 22. So I'm going to go back and make sure that's 18 for my title. It says use the smart guides to align the chart to the position shown in figure 2, which would be four-headed arrow. It looks like it's aligned with the left side of my text. That looks good. That part looks good. I'm going to left click and hold with my four-headed arrow and drag up to where I have that horizontal guide below my title text, and the vertical guide is lined up with the left side of that text. Horizontal guide and vertical guide, those look good from where I'm at right now. I'm going to let up on that. That's a pretty good looking graph there. Okay, and that was number 5. Okay, moving on. I might want to just save this just for laughs and giggles right now too. Hit my save button up here, upper left hand corner. On to instruction number 6 in slide 3, still displaying. We use slides by inserting slide 2, slide 3, and slide 4 from the file statistics PPTX available for download from the SAM website. Okay, so here we're going to go with insert, actually home. I'm going to drop in some new slides. So right now I'm in slide 3. I'm dropping in some new slides. Okay, all right. I'm going to say new slides. I'm going to say reuse slides. Again, we like some slides in another presentation that we want to pull in. And again, you need to have downloaded or brought this file over from Google Classroom or the shared folder, wherever you're getting your supplemental files. I'm going to browse out to the folder I was just in. And again, you'd be defining this somewhere on your computer. And the presentation I'm drawing slides from is this support statistics file, which I'm going to double click on. And it says, oh, you need to pull in some slides here. Look, apparently we're going to pull in slide 2, slide 3, and slide 4 into our presentation. So I'm going to right click on slide, the thumbnail over here for slide 2. I want to right click on that and say insert slide. Then I'm going to right click on invest in your own, whatever that is, and insert slide. That drops into my presentation. I'm going to come over here to 5 key places and right click on that and insert that slide. So I inserted those 3 slides, 2, 3, and 4, from that presentation called statistics, and they are now slides 4, 5, and 6 in my current presentation. And when I'm done with that, I can just close that out. I'm going to go back to slide 4, which was that first slide that I dropped in, and we're going to edit this a little bit. So in slide 4, it says use line commands to bottom align the pictures to the slide, So I'm going to click on this first picture, hold down my shift key, left click on the second picture, left click on the third picture. Okay? So I'm going to come over here to Picture Tools Format tab and align. And notice that it said to the slide. Right now it's align selected objects, but I want to say align to slide. So I'm going to say align to slide. And you probably say, well, weird, nothing happened. Well, that's correct. Then I'm going to say align again, and I want to align bottom or vertically align those down at the bottom. Like so. And they're all still selected. And I'm going to click on the More button because we want to apply the relaxed perspective white picture style to the pictures. And I had to kind of cheat and see where that was, but my relaxed perspective white picture style is right here, which will be applied to all three of those pictures in that slide, like so. And we're on to the next page, which I believe is page 4. All right, I'm going to go on to the next slide, slide 5, which was one of those slides I just brought in or reused. It says I'm going to insert a text box. I'm going to come up here to insert and say text box. Okay, I'm going to drop it down here below my text somewhere. All right, and it says I'm going to type in, does my service have value? Question mark. Does my service have value? Okay. Triple click on that text to select it. You have your mini toolbar that pops up when you select your text, just like Word, just like you're familiar with. Change that font size to 32, like so. Okay. And it says to change the text box height. I'm going to go over here to my Drawing Tools Format tab. Right now my text box height is 0.64, which isn't bad. I'm going to change it so it's 0.7, like so. And the text box width, I'm going to just drag my mouse pointer through that and make it 5.64. Click off somewhere. So it's that exact size. Change the shape style to color filled purple accent 1, clicking on our More button down here. And that looks like color filled purple accent 1 right there, second column, second row. And that looks good. Okay. And here it says use smart guides to align the text box to position shown in figure 3, which looks like it's aligned with the bulleted list. So I'm going to left click and hold. There's my guide right there. My horizontal guide is showing me that I'm lined up with my bulleted list. I'm going to drag down and look for my, and that's actually, that line runs horizontal, but it's actually my vertical guide. Sometimes I get confused because the line that is running up and down, even though the line is vertical, that is giving me my horizontal placement. The one's to the left of the word no up there. And the line that's running horizontal is actually my vertical guide where I should put my text up and down. So it's kind of reverse logic when you think of your guides. That's pretty much where that's asking me to put that particular text box. Okay, I'm going to save my file again up here. All right. And we're going to move on to, that was slide 5, right? And it says we're going to skip slide 6 and move on to slide 7. The reason 86% of startups fail. Okay. And it says to change the word art style. So we're going to come over here, bottom of page 4, and mess around with the word art here. So first thing I'm going to do here is come up here and highlight all this text, which already has a form of word art on it. And it says the first thing I'm doing is clicking on my More button, and I'm looking for the Fill Red Accent 3 Color Sharp Bevel, which is the last one over there in the second row. Okay, and there you go. And then I'm going to apply the text effect in my transform area called inflate, middle, deflate, top, and bottom. Now yours may look a little bit different as I go down into this warp section down here. May look a little bit different here. And that says deflate, inflate, deflate is my Mac hint. And I think that is, using my 2016 version, that's probably the best thing I can come up with. Deflate, inflate, deflate. Again, if you have 2019, it's going to say inflate middle, deflate top, and bottom. So I'm just going to go with that right there. Okay. And it says to come back here with the shape effect, and in 3D rotation we're going to apply the perspective right. And let's see here, third column, first row, perspective right, 3D rotation right there for my text. All right. And it says resize the text box to approximately a height of 3.3. Allow the width to adjust automatically. It's just check here to see. Lock aspect ratio is not selected, so this is going to be kind of disproportional to what we start out with, but that's what they're asking us to do. So I'm going to come up here to my height and just use my up arrow and change that to 3.3. And the width does not change automatically. Use align commands to center the word art horizontally on the slide. So I'm going to come up here to align. And it says align to slide, which is what I want to do. I'm going to say align center is going to be my horizontal positioning. Align center. Put that in the middle. And then it says use align commands to align the text box to the middle of the slides. That's going to be align middle. So that'll be horizontally centered and vertically in the middle, like so, on my slide. On to number 10, last page, and I'm going to go down here to slide 8. And it says insert a column to the right with the data shown in table 2. So here I'm going to come down to my table over here and go over to my last column. Something like that. Put an insertion point there on my last column. And here I want to drop in another column, so I'm going to say insert right or another column to the right. Okay. And I'm going to say here in column 4, my title is going to be video games, like so. And my data as listed 3724. I'm just going to hit the down arrow here. 4,850, down arrow 6,319. So I just added an extra column and dropped in the data for different types of activities related to my startup. Okay. And it says I'm going to make sure the table is selected up here. And in my table tools design tab, it says to apply the cross cell bevel. Let's see. I'm guessing that is in my borders area. Wait a second. Hold on here. Had to do a quick little peek there. I actually want to go up here with my table selected. Go up here to effects, to cell bevel. Again, this gives your cells, your individual cells, kind of a 3D look here. I'm going to apply this cross cell bevel to my entire table like so. Again, give it a 3D little appearance there. And it says I think I'm done with slide 8. I'm on to slide 9. And it says in slide 9, I'm going to insert a table. Why don't I just save this presentation just to be safe here? Save, okay. And here I'm going to apply a table. Looks like it's going to be with the data shown below. So it looks like this is going to be a 2-column and 4-row table. And it looks like you get to watch me put in my data here. Still around 5+ years. Is that a space after plus or not? I'm assume it's not. Previous failure, previous success. And over here I have percent, 45, 20, and 30 to enter my data. I should say 5+ years over there. You caught that, didn't you? Like, Red, you didn't type that right. Okay, so I entered in my data as I have it selected there. And it says go down to the bottom, and I could either right click down here. And actually, I'm not going to right click. I'm just going to come up here to my layout tab. My insertion point is on the last row. layout tab, I'm going to say insert below, or insert a row below that. So one more row that's going to say first time success as instructed. And they say that my data is going to be 18. These are all percentages, of course. It says change the table style. So I've got my data all entered in here. I guess I'm going to find out how successful I was. I turn this in for grading. But my table style is going to be medium style 3, accent 1. In my medium area, that's in the second column, third row. Let's double check my tooltip there. Medium style 3, accent 1. There you go. It says bold the text 45 in the second row. So that's my second row. And it says to bold that, boom, to highlight that. And it says in slide sorter view. Now slide sorter view is down here. Okay. So it says move slide 8 to become the new last slide. So I'm going to click on slide sorter view. And here is slide 8 that I was just working on. And I want to get my left click and hold on that thumbnail and drag it so it now becomes the last slide. Okay. All right. And I'm going to save my presentation. Okay. And let's see, specifically, we'll find out how good I did on my alignment and stuff like that. So I'm going to go back here to Sam, and let's see what kind of grade I got on this. Cross my fingers, hope I did good. And you can, whoops, I'm not doing that right now. Okay, let's come up here to my file I was just working on. And that was in my PowerPoint Chapter 3 project, which I just saved, correct? Yeah, I just saved that a second ago. There's the file. It's a big file, 3K. Double click on that. Check mark. Submit. Oh boy, let's see if I did pretty good on this. I got to admit, the first time I turned this in for grading, I really bombed it. I did not do well at all. Okay? And that file loads. Let's view the report. And let's see how I did. Hopefully, if I got 90%, I'm going to quit right where I'm at here, because I thought I did pretty good on that. With you watching over my shoulder the whole time. I can't even believe it. Okay, enable editing. Let's go to my last slide. And let's see how I did. Da, 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 da. I got a 99. What did I miss? On slide 1, the sharpen 50% correction should be applied to the support stack picture. Okay? And I don't really know what was wrong with that, but it says sharpen 50%, correct? And I did do that, but apparently it didn't like that. So there's some of these things in this project that I couldn't quite figure out, because if I went back to my original file, sometimes it changes it or does random things. But this one looks good. And I got 99%. And thank you for watching. That's PowerPoint Chapter 3 project.